Since the Zapcraft SMP is coming to a close soon, I thought of making one more video on it. And what better way than making a world tour? How this video is going to work is I'm going to divide this world into 4 sections. The Stoney Shore, the Spawn, the Plains, and the Savannah. So let's start with the Savannah. The Savannah is the most populated area and the place I live, which brings us on to the base I'm showing right now. This is my base, and I've been working pretty hard on it. And even though it's not fully finished, I've lost a lot of motivation for making it, so I've just stopped. It's basically 4 biomes being preserved by modern humans to test how well they work in the Minecraft world. Then the main part of operations is the cave. I made basically this entire thing in this video, then made another part of it in this video. I do really think that this is really cool, and I'm pretty proud of it. But then that leads us on to my first base, otherwise known as my starter base. It's changed a while from the start of the SMP, and probably the most notable change is this giant bamboo wall. I won't go into too much detail about this, because I already made a video touring it a while ago. But what has changed is obviously the bamboo wall, the fact that there's no enchant table, this vault that holds a lot of good loot. Here's some of that. And finally, my villager trading hall. Oh, and if you also didn't know, then a member of the server will be joining me for the rest of this world tour. His name is Zap. But then that leads us on to the next place. This is Zap's failed attempt at a starter base. Wait, no, I mean the best starter base on the server. It also includes this basement. Next, we're on to the meeting room. I also showed this off in this video, so I don't want to go into too much detail about it. But probably the best feature of it is my hidden house. Next, we're on to Zap's real starter base. As you can see, it's just this beautiful floating island. Nah, just joking. But before I show more, I have to go into more backstory about it. This all started one day when there was only a bit left to the season. So instead of Zap building his base, he forced me to make it. And after a while I did. So I also just want to say that the base in this video is built by me, with a few tweaks by Zap. So anyway, here is Zap's base. I think that it looks really cool, and it's one of the most unique bases on the server. So if I just fly on into the base, yeah. But here's the interior. Now we're on to one of my favorite builds on the server, my custom solar system. I dedicated an entire episode of my series to this build, and I think it came out looking really good. I'm not going to spend much time talking about it, but I really recommend the video where I built it. But now we leave the overworld and go to the Nether. This is where we're greeted with my Nether hub. It's a small build, but I made it in this video. Next we move from the Savannah to the Stoney Shores. And the one habitant of this area is Walnut. Since Walnut isn't really on the server that much, this place is very underdeveloped. Underdeveloped. All there really is a house, a failed creeper farm, and the start of a mega base. But now we're gonna move ourselves to Spawn. Now, Spawn was mostly made by the member Shadow. He built this cool underground area, and the cabin that was above the surface. Well, I did some icy mountains terraforming around the edge to clear up a stone wall. And while doing that, I made a custom cave, but you can watch the video I toured that on another Zapcraft SMP video. But that's not it for Spawn, because if you make your way around 200 blocks away, you'll find our little farm area, which has 2 pretty good farms, which includes an iron farm that Shadow built and a gold farm that I built. People use these farms a lot, and they really are really helpful. But now, as I walk through this Nether, you can kind of see how it's a little bit messed up. This is because no one on the server really paid any attention to it. But the only thing really here is the pigling bartering area. But now we make our way into the plains area. This is the village that Shadow lives in. He was basically making a custom village by transforming it, and I thought it actually looked really cool. But sadly, he stopped playing on the server a lot, so this project came to a halt. And the pillars that you see around are from doing achievements. But other than this cool village, there isn't actually much to look at here, so we're gonna move on. And you may have seen by now that I already explored every single area I said. So here's some bonus little areas that I didn't say were a thing before. And that first leads us to an attempt of draining an ocean monument. This was almost entirely done by Shadow, but as you can see, we never finished it. Now this base was built by Karkar Spikes, and there's a big story with him. Basically, he was accused of griefing bases on the server, so sadly he was removed from it. So when he was removed, everyone went over and griefed his base and stole all his loot. So this is all that remains. And if you wanted proof that he was on the server, this is a screenshot from one of my older videos. And as another bonus area, this is the house I built a million blocks away from spawn. Now the next place is by the owner, the Fire King. And it's his base. When you enter, there isn't that much to look at, but it's still a pretty decent base. Also, the mine connects to my custom cave. It may not be the best base, but it still is alright. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this world tour and comment what your favorite build was. Bye.